Hello and welcome to the
Hello
OverShadow.
everyone, ShadowCast.
I,
With your host Thomas Anderson and me, Abigail Mowat.
I, I asked you how my levels were, right?
Yes,
Why do I sound like a girl?
because for a momentary lapse there, I overtook your body, and I was able to talk through both of us.
None of those words mean that. For a momentary lapse. Nope, that is not how words work.
My brain is a momentary lapse.
If I'm being honest, you could have very easily insulted me by saying you always sound like a girl.
Why is that an insult?
Because I'm not a girl.
Why is it bad to sound like a girl?
Because I'm not a girl. Men and women are different and it's beautiful and that's fine. How would you like it if I said you look like a man, especially with that beard? Exactly. So, I don't want to sound like a girl.
I don't have a beard.
That's... Sure.
It's just one long hair that curled up.
So basically what you're saying is that one long head hair has migrated partially down to create a squiggly beard as well.
No, I was trying to imply one's just growing out my chin and just like curled all the way around.
Oh, I think you've only got one head hair as well. And you coil it up. I think that's why women have to put the hair in the towel. Because it's just one big hair and they need to coil it up at all times.
I have to keep my hair in a towel.
At all times, even when it's dry.
It takes forever to dry, and this is the quickest way to do it.
Putting the kids in the washing machine.
Well, after this, I have to dry my hair with a hairdryer. I hate doing that.
It's just all the normal things that people have to do. You know, the kids go in the washing machine. You know, you cook the Hoover.
What's just happened? I'm very confused.
That was my joke.
Okay.
You don't have time to dry your hair, so you put it in a towel and then you wander around in a state of exhaustion, putting the kids in the washing machine and cooking the Hoover.
I do not have children, which leads to many more questions.
Yeah, I know. If you don't have children, who are those kids you live with? Right. Hi.
Hello.
How are
yes,
you?
You're back.
Yeah, I didn't do last week because I was deaf.
Yeah, I explained the fact that you were having hearing issues.
Yeah.
And shouting quite a lot without meaning to.
Just a blockage. It'll go away. But I've got that tinnitus thing from the blockage. But at the minute, but last week it was just nothing. I was basically just, I could hear myself speak because of bone induction, but that was it. Do you know
I'm
what
glad
that
you're
is?
back. Is that where you...
I think it's called induction, not conduction. I think it's induction.
I don't know.
It's your bones transfer the sound of your voice through your skull into your ear, which is why you always sound deeper than to yourself than you are on, say, recordings.
Yeah, I always sound a lot higher.
Yeah, and I don't like it either because I'm quite happy with the depth of my voice when I say stuff, but I now am fully aware that I'm speaking in a high pitch.
It must be so weird because you, to me, already sound quite low down. So I wonder how low down...
Do I sound quite low down?
I've always thought you sound quite low down.
Wow. Okay, well, that's a surprise. Because when I hear myself back, I think I sound like a helium fairy.
I think you've got quite a low voice.
Okay.
So I find it really strange. Like, I wonder just how low you hear it then. You should try and manipulate it so that it sounds how you think it sounds.
God. Right, okay.
Not right now.
So if I was to heighten my voice, it would sound like that, okay?
Okay.
So if I try and make that equivalent going down the way, then my voice would sound like this, and then it would start to sound a little bit like that. So I might sound like this. Hello?
Like you're very bored.
Is that further down?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So I sound like that. Because I can go low, but I can't do the bit in between that, which is sort of like, I can't do in between, hello, how are you? I'm very bored. And, hello.
No, that's your Andy Murray. That's your Andy Murray voice. That bored one. You sounded a lot like Andy Murray.
Yeah, I was playing tennis and I was hitting the ball back, and then he was sending it back, which I thought was rude.
Which I thought was rude. Judy raised me right.
And then we'd hit the ball again and win the point. And
right, so shall we move on?
I'm very happy to have won
Andy Murray
Wimbledon.
Impression?
Look, Mum, I won a gold medal. Yay.
This has become very awkward.
What has he got in his life that makes him so unhappy?
I think he's just tired.
He works with his family, right? He's married. He's got children. He's world famous millionaire with gold medals and Wimbledon trophies. He's been world number 1. What's he complaining about? Yeah, I was just playing.
Maybe he never wanted to play tennis. Maybe he wanted to
He chose to play tennis. He had other options available. There was football teams who wanted him to play football.
I was gonna go try and make a joke, and you interrupted me. I was going maybe he wanted to play the clarinet or something like that. Maybe he didn't want to do sport at all.
No. You need to go for a really happy instrument for him. So like a trumpet or a trombone, or...
No, if he was a musical instrument, he'd be an oboe.
No, that's my point. You want him to play a really high pitch, like a flute, and then he takes it away and just goes, that was the greatest experience of my life.
Go hold the flute again? Oh, so wrong. So why does everybody want to go to the left? You hold it to the right, like this.
I'm left-handed.
Doesn't matter. You have to play
I think you'll find it does.
You cannot play... To the best of my knowledge, there's no such thing as a left-handed flute.
Racist.
Because of the mouthpiece is...
The mouse. The mice! It's the mice!
I need to look this up now if there's such thing as a left-handed flute.
Do you want to know why people do that?
Yeah.
I would guess it's because the hand closest to the mouth is the primary hand in people's heads. So if they're right-handed, you would put your right hand closer to your face.
Okay, I've got it. Left-handed flutes have always existed, but only as custom-made.
Right. Just like left-handed guitars, I suppose. But I don't play anything left-handed. I play it right-handed.
Well, everybody I've ever seen, when they try and do like a flute...
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
They always hold it on the left-hand side. They never hold it on the right-hand side.
Yeah, because I think they consider the primary hand to be the one closest to your head. So they move it that way because that's where your right hand is right next to your cheek. But, yeah. And so the primary hand is the right one, and they're right-handed. I'm sort of ambidextrous. So I use my left hand for writing and for mice. It's the mouse again. But I use my right hand for anything else, which is why I was always terrible at archery, because they forced me to use my left hand, and I don't work like that.
I was good at archery.
I would love to go back and try archery properly.
We should join the archery club.
Can I not just go with the kids and just sneak in the back, just wearing like a child's skirt?
Just use the safety arrows then.
Yeah.
Do you remember the ones it didn't actually have like a sharp point, it had like a stub.
Yeah, it had like Haribo in the end.
Yeah, it made no sense.
So it punted you in the face and then you went, ooh, Haribo, and you didn't sue.
I really liked archery. I was really good at it.
I want a personal man-made river at my house.
Why?
So that I can kayak and waterboard and canoe. Wait a minute, what did I just say? Did I say waterboard again?
Yeah. No, you said canoe.
I said kayak, waterboard, and canoe.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I mean waterboard, paddleboard. I'm quite good at that. I quite like it. I mean, I don't mind if somebody waterboards me. That's fun. I've had that happen. But yeah, it's I think the idea of my own wee river.
Yeah.
Put fish in it, keep it nice and clean and healthy and looked after. And paddleboard every now and again.
Okay. Anyway.
All right. What?
Shall we continue with the podcast for why we are here?
Come on, this is quite good. Is this not good? Are you not enjoying this? It's a podcast. Like, well, let's be brutally honest. Nobody's tuning in saying, "Wait a minute, where's my specific content?" We basically just talk about ourselves. But I thought that was interesting. I thought that was interesting for people to know that I basically want to be a god.
I think everybody's gotten that by now, to be perfectly honest. I know I understood that about 4 months after meeting you. Actually, I think it was a lot sooner than that.
Well, I think that was probably because we used to work voluntarily in a charity shop in the basement together.
I would like to say that it wasn't just the basement.
Yeah, it was. And we were perfectly respectful to each other. Totally within keeping in the bounds of the law. Even though we were pressed together in this tiny little space. And we were, to be suggestive, we were constantly feeling bags.
We had to look for stuff within bags.
Yeah.
The bags were not see-through.
Yeah, so we had to be. So we spent hours in the basement, pressed together, squeezing bags, and yet somehow still managed to be respectful.
We were not pressed together.
Oh, so maybe I wasn't being as respectful.
My feet would constantly get trapped between the boards, and I would fall over.
And I would then help you.
And then sometimes I'd just stay on the bags and try and have a nap.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
Oh, that might be when we were
just
pressed.
Pretend.
I think that's when we might be pressed together when you went to sleep. That's why you can't remember it. No, there was points when we were climbing through the summer bags.
That is a joke.
Yeah, of course it was a joke.
A tasteless joke.
It was brilliant. I think there was points when we were climbing through the summer bags, the red ones.
Yeah.
And we were pressed in quite tight together.
Yeah, but I think that was purely because so I wouldn't fall over.
Yeah.
You were like my guide.
Yeah.
Up the mountain of red.
I was making sure you didn't flop onto the bags and then go for like a surf down them. My point was that I think it's quite rare in society now that, because I think in most instances, I think a lot of guys, and including myself now, wouldn't feel as comfortable doing that. Because I had to physically hold you when you were leaning across so that you wouldn't fall.
Yeah.
So I'm basically got my hands either wrapped around you or on your hips or something like that, or I'm holding an arm so you're not falling over.
Just by the cuff of my collar going...
Yeah, like just grab the hood in your hoodie. or your strap. Just hold you by the strap. Like...
What strap?
Brass
my
strap,
belt
I assume.
strap.
No, brass strap. Just hold you by the brass strap like Mission Impossible and just dangle you over the bags. But I think if we met now in that situation, I think I would still do it, but I'd feel a lot less comfortable about it.
I'd be okay.
Well, of course you would be okay. I'm not actually an evil, nasty man. You'd be fine. I would just say, yeah, just from the point, just a thought I had there when I was talking about it was that we were trying to describe something that we know was perfectly okay because we were there. We were trying to get a job done. We were both perfectly comfortable. But I also feel the need to explain that it's okay, rather than people just assuming it's okay. So now that I think about that, I realise that I wouldn't have been that worried about explaining it when it was happening. So I think there's been a change in the past 5 years where I feel less comfortable in that scenario.
Why'd you feel that way?
Because, I mean, it was entirely necessary for the job we were doing. It's not exactly like we could have spun the roles round.
No, I think if I had tried to keep... Well, one, you've got a weird, creepy sense of balance where it's like the wind will be blowing 50 miles an hour and you are stuck. Like, you ain't falling over. Earthquake could happen and you're still perfectly standing straight. It's really strange.
Which is really weird because I'm only that balanced in certain situations. In other ones, I have the worst balance of any human being you've ever seen in your life.
I have got such a bad sense of balance. I will literally... You've seen it. I'm standing still and all of a sudden I fall.
Yeah, I have seen that. You know what I noticed the other day? I think the reason my sense of balance on like the ground, or if I'm standing on a tree branch and I've got a hand on a wall or something like that, is so good. But the times when my balance falls apart completely, I remember this one time we were doing this challenge at school and we had to climb. We had to see how many. We stood on a box, and other people had to put a box underneath you as you were climbing the boxes. So your balance had to be really good, and I couldn't do it. And what happened was, as soon as it got to about 4, the boxes started to swivel.
Yeah.
And what we realised was my sense of balance is constant movement.
I don't understand, sorry.
I constantly move micro. I am almost always falling over, and I use
Oh,
micro
right,
movements to
okay.
balance myself.
Okay, I get
Sort of
it.
like maintaining orbit. But as soon as you put me on a stack of boxes that can move, my micro movements cause them to move, and we start to swivel out of arrangement, and then I just ended up booting these boxes across the room while falling. It was embarrassing. But it's just because my sense of balance is more reliant on movement than other people's, so I can't balance on certain things. Anyway, what have you been playing?
I almost got to have a go on an Oculus
Reparo.
Quest.
Reparo.
What?
Oculus Reparo.
Oh, jeez. That took a while for me to register what you were saying. I almost got to have a go, and then we were told, no, it's unsanitary because there's too many years, and you have to wait an hour in between each person using it. So I was very upset. It's because we were getting shown the kind of equipment that we can use for the course.
Well, you can't use it, can you?
No, we will be allowed to use it, but we can't be using it like that soon after.
No, I understand that, but you can't use it if you're not taught how to. So you can't use it.
We will eventually be taught, but I think they have to find a way of like safely doing it, if you get what I mean.
A head condom.
That would be terrifying.
And deadly.
Yes.
It's not exactly like they're breathable.
No, that is true. But I've not actually had time to play anything this week because I've been busy with college work.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, I was hoping to have a little bit of time tomorrow, but we were given a double art movement this week. So we
You've had a double art movement this week. Oof.
It was very painful.
Oof. It sounds like the sort of thing that should involve a guillotine.
No, we were looking at the Dada art movement and also the surrealism art movement, and unfortunately, it's just taking me a little bit longer to actually read everything.
Is the surrealism is that above fine art?
I don't understand what you mean by that.
Well, you know how fine art is supposed to be as accurate a representation as possible.
Surrealism is so basically. I'll give a quick recap. Dadaism was a response to the First World War. It was an equally chaotic art movement compared to the chaos of war. The Dadaists are, if you basically saw their work, you would think it was something like Monty Python.
Oh, I hate that
because
stuff.
Monty Python. I think were very heavily, especially Terry Gilliam, were very heavily influenced by Dadas.
I don't like it.
Well,
I understand why other people might. No, the artwork style. I don't like that artwork style. I never have. It's just not my thing. I don't like it.
Okay, that's fine. But so that's kind of what Dadaism was. It was kind of art, but it was art, but it was a commentary type of art. It was a protest art. Surrealism was looking at the subconscious. So it was, like Salvador Dali and Andre Breton. Yves Tongai, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Yves Tongai is actually a really interesting guy. He, they were all kind of really interesting. Most of them started out in careers in medicine, like in psychology and things like the early days of psychology. That's where they started.
The early days of psychology were the late 1800s.
Yeah, 1899 was when Freud released his book.
Right.
And a lot of them became very good friends of Sigmund Freud.
Mm-hmm. Is that because they were all trying to sleep with his mother? They just bonded over that.
Quite possibly. But no, they were really interested in the subconscious mind. They used a technique called automatic drawing, which was basically, like sometimes you just
cheating.
Let your pencil
That's
wander.
what that sounds like. It sounds like cheating.
So basically what it is like you just let your pencil wander around on a page and then you define certain shapes to create weird and wonderful creations. But so that's the surrealists are very interesting. I think they're my favorite art movement. That and the Dada.
So you're talking about the manipulation of objects to create new things.
No, that's Dada. I think. Well, it's not even a manipulation of things.
Well, surrealism is like real life, but manipulated.
No, surrealism is about the subconscious. It is about they found that
Ah,
the realism was very boring and dull, and the uncanny and strange were more interesting, basically.
right,
So,
okay.
I
But you
mean,
could argue that it almost starts from a point of realism because they still try to be as realistic as possible pre
no,
manipulation.
no, they never ever, they weren't looking at realism. That is not what they were. That would be realism. Surrealism was the surreal. It was the weird. It was the uncanny.
Yeah, but the point is what I'm looking at here, almost every single picture has a real thing in it.
Do you want to show me what you're looking at? Because I can't actually
No, I'm
tell
not
what you're
allowed to do
looking
that
at.
anymore. But it's sort of things like Salvador Dali with the melted clock. A clock is
Oh
still a real
yeah,
thing.
I'd have to look back up what I wrote about it. But
No, I get what you're
no,
saying that it's like the subconscious sort of stuff. Yeah, I get that. Or the unconscious mind. I get that. But it seems to be that, and I'm not saying that realism inspired it. I'm just trying to say from a point of view, if you imagine a real picture and then they've mind mucked it,
yeah, I
you know?
suppose. Some cases yes, some cases no.
Right. Okay. Well, it's a reasonable place to start from. And see,
But what I was saying was sorry.
I was just going to say that I thought that surrealism would have been like the greatest level of fine art, like even better than realism because it's so realism.
It's super realism.
But I didn't get my joke out until after we had both had the discussion about what surrealism was, which means it doesn't really make sense anymore.
Okay.
So realism.
But no, I was going to say was Yves. I think that Yves or Yves Tonga. I think that's the guy. Actually, very unethically would get hold of patient files, and he would use because like a lot of these patients had seen like the horrors of the First World
Yeah.
War.
Can I ask you a
And
question?
he would take. Can I just finish
Sorry, on you
this?
go.
And
On you go. I thought you were done.
he would no, he would take patient files and he would use phrases in them and create artworks from that, which
So
was really sad.
my question is, see if art is so expressive and fantastic, why do they need to get all their ideas from someone else? Because they're either stealing ideas from each other or other people or patients or they're on drugs. Why is it nobody can just be good at art? Am I the
People
world's
can be
best
good at art.
artist? Because I don't steal ideas nor take drugs. Does that innately make me a better artist than most artists?
No, that would be Bob Ross then.
Apparently he was a real stickler for specific, just getting it right.
I don't know. I've not watched the documentary yet.
I don't know. I've not seen it either. This is something else I've read. Okay.
But anyway, so yeah, interesting people.
My favourite one is realism. I like to look at a picture that is just so accurate you could have taken it with realism. This isn't right. No, not realism. Is it realism?
Are you thinking of analytic drawing?
Oh my god, it's not that. I can't remember where it is. Mona Lisa.
The Renaissance.
The pictures of people. I like pictures of real things drawn really well. Paintings of things. I like that.
Do you know what? That really doesn't surprise me.
Thanks. I just like it when somebody's because anybody can draw something that doesn't exist. It's pretty difficult to draw something that does. Oh come on, I could put a unicorn head on top of a hippo, and give it the legs of a giraffe, and the tail of an alligator. By mistake, and it would be something that doesn't exist. But if you tell me I have to draw a rabbit, I have to draw something that looks like a rabbit.
Not anybody can just do that.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody can just draw a rabbit.
I'm saying nobody can just draw nonsense.
Well, no, I'm not talking about. What I'm saying is that if I was to sit down and attempt to draw something and make a mistake, I could just say, "Oh, it's fake. It's a fake thing in my head." But if I have to draw something that looks like a rabbit, I can't give it, horns.
No, that's a jackrabbit.
No, it's a rabbit with
That's
horns.
a jackrabbit.
What?
Have you never heard of a jackrabbit?
No.
Type in jackrabbit.
No.
Type in
No,
jackrabbit.
I'll get in trouble again.
Type in jackrabbit.
That's not horns, those are ears.
No, they have like little jackrabbits got little horns.
No, they look like ears to me.
Well, I mean, it's technically. I think it's technically a growth, but people used to think they were horns.
Well, I'm talking about big swirly demon horns. You know, the ones that go around.
Oh, like goat horns, like the mountain goats.
Yeah, but more evil. Yeah, anyway, doesn't matter. I have been played a bit of Divinity today, actually, for a break. I basically got to the point where we were just trying to finish off quests to get a bit of XP. So I just looked up, like, we've done the actual bones of this quest, right? How do I go and finish it? Who do I speak to? Because the log's not very good. And so we'd finished a couple of them, did a few fights. We got a permanently summonable ally we can summon into every fight.
Nice.
We haven't used him yet because we got him towards the end of the session, but he's there for next time. But yeah, it's difficult. Oh, it's difficult. It's really difficult.
Sounds it.
And it's sort of slow. Apparently it gets better later, but the first area is slow and steady, and the race is boring. But it's, yeah.
No rabbits winning the race. No jackrabbits winning the race.
No, really not. Yeah, it was one fight where we destroyed an enemy, and it caused 3 more to spawn in, and they were all suicide bombers.
Oh, Jesus.
And literally one of them spawned in our group. Went off and killed us all. Yeah. So the trick there is when you start the fight, you immediately run away. So when you kill one of them, the 3 guys spawn in the same place, but they have to charge through their own ranks first. So you get an opportunity to destroy them, and then they take out all their allies.
Yeah.
Which happened, actually. I think we blew one up, and that killed 2 others and set a 3rd on fire. I don't say we. I think I had to do that fight at the end by myself. Which my brother doesn't actually know about. I need to tell him I did that by myself. Normally we play everything together, but for little fights like that where we just want to get through it and we've already tried it 3 times, I just turn it on sometimes and give a new strategy a go just to see if it would work. Yeah. And he said if it's working and you finish the fight, just leave it. I don't need to be in every fight. So, but we did find out why my character is 9,000 experience points behind everyone else.
Why?
If your character gets knocked out in a fight or killed in a fight, they don't get the experience from enemies as they go down.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I hate it. It's a permanent retraction. It's a game with limited XP because there's only a limited number of sources for it. It's a finite number, and they put in this limit where if somebody goes down, you might as well reload it. It's just so stupid. It's really stupid. Because basically what it means is that if I use my guys as a shield and one of them goes down, I get punished. Because my brother's characters level up faster than mine because of it. It's really stupid. So my guy will permanently be 9,000 odds or more or less points behind. Because we didn't know that's what was happening.
That's so unfair.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does. It's just a really stupid decision. Don't punish people like that. It's a game, not real life. If I was dead in real life, 1, I wouldn't be fighting skeleton zombies or crab monsters or orcs. And 2, if I go down, I stay dead. There's no revive scrolls. It's just really silly. Because it goes down to that old question of, well, I got no experience points when that enemy died, but I did 90% of the damage. That doesn't make sense. It should be experience garnered from each individual action then. You can't give general experience like that for an event and then say, oh, well, they weren't there, but they were there for, they set it off. It doesn't make sense. It's a game. So it's just a bit silly. I don't really get why they did that.
You okay?
Yeah, it's just silly. But my guy's going to be behind, but that's okay. Because I know what I'm doing with him, and that's fine. I put the point into Hydrosophist so that I have the regeneration healing spell.
Yeah.
Because my guy's tank, his primary course of action is to get hit a lot. Oh, I
Mhm.
also changed him from light armor to heavy armor.
Nice.
It means I can't move as much at all. I move about a third to a quarter as much as I did before. Maybe I push half, but I've not really tested it. But I am much more durable. It basically goes to how much damage you can absorb or how often you can dodge an attack. Plus that, my guy has a shield, so he will occasionally block. So he dodged like 6 attacks in a row, which were quite useful. So if he's got the summon the ally spell and he's got the extra heal, it means that other characters can focus on doing damage, because his primary objective is to just stand there looking mighty fine and getting hit in the head. But yeah, that's it.
Mighty fan and hit in the head.
Yeah, that's it. It's going quite well. We're getting there. And apparently the game gets a bit more betterer when you get out of the first sort of over area.
You is better dirt.
Yeah, but it is still tedious when you're having to jump around the different dungeons for the different missions to try and level up enough to do the later ones. Silly. Anyway, that's me. That's it.
So I think we're going to leave it there today, folks. And if you like what you heard and you'd like to hear more, you can always subscribe to the channel. You can hit the notification button, the like button, the subscribe button. Did I already say that? I think I might have.
You can hit the Nautica like button.
You can hit that one as well.
And
you
the
can
subscribe
leave a comment.
bell.
And you can leave a comment down below. That'd be fantastic. Or you can email us at overshadow.shadowcast@gmail.com. So all that's left for me to do is say thank you guys so much for listening and welcome back to all me. We're glad that your hearing is better.
What?
The South Pole. I'm glad you feel
Sometimes
better.
just let me make a good joke. It's okay to just laugh. It's fine. Oh well, that's me out. That laugh was too loud. My ears are out now.
Oh dear, I've deafened him yet again.
No, Gran, it's fine.
I'm not that old.
No, they built that bridge last week.
Sad now.
No, I'm joking that I can't hear you.
I know that. I just why'd you call me Gran? I've got like 2 grey hairs, which I found over summer on top of my head. I'm very upset.
I've got lots of grey hairs.
Yeah, but it's different. It looks good on you. Me, I just look old.
They're not on my body.
Ew.
No, they are. They're on my head. I've always had grey hair, though. You know that. I've always had grey hair.
Even when you were a teenager?
When I was a child. When I was born.
Really?
Small patch of grey hair on the right-hand side, so I've always had it.
I didn't know that. I thought you just got it in the last few years.
There was an episode in Scrubs where Dr. Cox gets really upset because he finds the trail of hair that goes from your belly button down?
Yeah.
He finds a grey hair in that and he gets really upset about getting old. Like, I had a grey hair in that when I was 14 or 13 or 14. So grey hairs don't bother me too much. You, on the other hand, get very worked up about grey hair.
I know, because I think it's because...
Does that apply to
like
men? Would you not want to date a man with grey hair?
No, I dated a man with grey hair.
I'm taking notes. I'll let the boys know. I'll just email the patriarchy and they'll get back to you.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back next week. Thank you.
See you next week. Bye.